So first of all, come into the your code folder wherever you having. So in my C drive, I'm having the code folder. So quickly come into the code folder, everyone. So make sure you are not missing any curly braces. The bracket are mentioned correctly. So this is of the compilation of the top level statement. Do you have any other file also where you're keeping the top level statement? Make sure you are not having the multiple classes. If you're having the multiple classes, please set it properly. Just check your class name. Make sure the startup one you set there. Check leap year. So class name is correct over there. And here it is saying you having a top level statement as well. Remove a default created file. Okay. You having a one file with the top level statement. Remove that one. Don't use top level statement. So mistake is you having a top level statement file. Remove that. So guys, quickly create the project for today class .NET new. Then we having the C# day 3. So C# day 3 is my project name equal to C# day 3. And application type is, it is console. So it should be double dash. Okay. So make sure you are creating a project with this name. Friends, don't worry, the attendance we are taking automatically through the Zoom meeting. So don't worry about that. I figure out we are taking already your things through Zoom account. So I've created the project, everyone. And this is the code sharing file I'm having. I'm keeping here the code sharing file. Use that one. So now let me open this folder, whatever we have created. So here I'm opening that C# day 3 folder here. The link for it, this one. So what are the things we having? There you have to just use day 3. So now only serious people are joining day 3. Now the people started with very passion, but Nobody is actually consistent. So now strength is only once around 200. So guys, here let me tell you about first about the loop, then we will complete the exercise part. So when it is coming to the loops in the C# or any programming language, so loops we use whenever we are doing some iterative task, the things which we are repeating again and again. So those things we do with the help of loops here. The example here, on the day one, we created a program to print the table of a number. So to print the table of a number, what we have done, we have written 10 times console.write statement. So instead of writing 10 times the console.write statement, better to use there a statement which can iterate, which can repeat the things. So this we can repeat with the help of loops in the C#. So this is the simple statement we having for the loop. So we every loop having a condition. That condition will decide till which, or you can say how many times this loop will be executed. If condition is going to execute it true, it will execute the loop block. If condition executed false, it will exit. In the C#, we having the 4 types of loop: while loop, do while loop, for loop, and the for each loop. So these are the 4 types of loops are available in the C#, which are helping us to repeat the things. Now let's first look at the syntax for each of loop. So when it is coming to the while loop, so while loop is having a condition. Before that, it is having an initialization statement. Always remember about the loop having the 3 statement. One is initialization, second is condition, third one is updation. Please note down everyone. When it is coming to the loop, so every loop having the 3 things mainly. First is initialization, means from where you are going to start the loop. Second is condition. In condition, we putting a expression. Let's say I'm going to print the value, the numbers from 1 to 10. So I will initialize my number, or I will say I equal to 1. This is the initialization of my variable. Then I will check till which number I want to repeat it. So I will add a condition I is smaller than or equal to 10. This is a condition here. Then we having a updation statement where we have to keep updating the value of I. Using that, we are doing the iteration there. The next one we having the do while loop. The do while loop is similar to the while loop, but there is a one difference here. The one difference is do while loop will execute first time without checking any condition. It always check the condition after executing once. So it always executed once. But the while loop first check the condition. If it is true, then it will execute. But in do while loop, it always executed once. Then it will check the condition. Next iteration will be decided if condition is going to be true. If it is true, it will execute. Otherwise, it will not execute. This is about the do while loop here. I will tell you the use case for each one. So when it is coming to the comparing the while loop and the do while loop, please note down the things, the use case of while loop. Where we should use while loop, please note down the use case. That is very, very important. Use case for the while loop is there when we don't know the exact number of iteration. It means how many times the loops will be executed. There we use while loop. The example is here. Let's say there is a one problem statement where I'm saying I will enter a number. And that number all digit you have to sum and return to me. So there numbers can have 3-digit, 4-digit, 5-digit, 6-digit, 7-digit, 8-digit, because we are not sure how many digits we having in a number. So number of iteration are not exact. So there we use the while loop. Simply, if I'm saying just read the data from a database table. So in database table also, we don't know how many records are there. There can be 10 record, 20 record, 100 record, 1000 record. So that is there also we are using the while loop. So this is the use case we having for the while loop, where we don't know the exact number of iteration. And the second thing we having about the do while loop. So in case of do while loop, as I said, it will execute it once. Take a condition, let's say there is a program. In the program, you want to give the option to the user before executing. So of course, first time we have to show the option to the user first. The program, let's say, can be for calculator, where you are giving the option of the calculator. Just select your choice. Do you want to perform add, divide, subtract, or multiply? What are the option you will select? Based upon that, further program will be executed. If let's say you will select the exit, so it will not do anything, it will directly exit. So in such scenario, we will use the do while loop, because at least first time we have to show the option to the end user. The next option will be decided based upon the input of the user. If user want to continue, it will be continue, otherwise we will not continue. So there we use do while loop, simple. I hope both the things are clear to everyone. So do while loop we use whenever we want to show some option to the user by default. So one of the option the user will select to further iterate it. Okay. The third loop we having the for loop. So for loop is helpful whenever we know the exact number of iteration. There we use always for loop. The example is here. I want to print a table of a number till 10th. So of course I will use for loop there, because I need to print the table of a number till 10. So I know the exact number of iteration are here 10. I want to print the numbers from 1 to 1000. Of course, this time also I know the number of iteration. These are exactly 1000. I will use also for loop. Are you having a list of data where you having a count property of the elements? Let's say in a list we having 10 elements, in a list we having, let's say, 50 elements. So there also I know the exact number of items in the list. So there we will use the for loop, because the exact number of iteration I know already in advance. Make sense to everyone? This is a use case for the for loop we have. The fourth loop we having the for each loop. So for each loop also we use to retrieve the data from a collection. But there is a difference in the for loop and the for each loop. What is the difference? Because wherever you are using the for loop, I can also use for each loop. But then what is the use case for the for each loop? The use case for the for each loop is many times, or again in maximum cases, we only just reading the data. We are not updating it. That time we use for each loop. Take a scenario, we having a list of items. That list of items I'm just showing somewhere. I'm just reading. I'm not updating any value. I'm not changing any sequence. So there, of course, I will use the for each loop because my requirement is only to read the value. But take another scenario. Let's say we having a list of items or against a list of student. So in the list of student, the people who having, let's say, the roll number 1 to 10, or let's say in a specific range, what are the roll number you having? We need to update them with a section of the class or with the college. So those things, of course, we are reading the value as well as we have to update them. So there we will use the for statement. Because in the for statement, we are reading the value as well as we can update. So for statement can help us to read as well as update the value. For each only help us to read the value, not to update. Make sense to everyone? So I cannot update, I cannot delete. If it is a for each, if it is a for, I can update, I can delete also. Make sense to everyone? Gaurav, using the for each, you cannot update. Only you can read the value. Only for loop can help you to update. The things are simple. So using while loop also you can perform the update. Using the for loop also you can also perform the update. But using the for each, I cannot perform the update. I can only read. So whenever you need a loop in the read only mode, use for each. Make sense to everyone? Right. What are the iteration you are doing? What are the item we having the iteration, that item value I'm updating? That can be done through the for loop, not using the for each. So I hope things are clear to everyone. So guys, the most important thing is so here most important thing is the use cases for each loop, because learning the things will not help you. Always remember one thing: what are the topic you are learning in C sharp or any other programming language? If you only learning the syntax, if you just following uh, the example without knowing the use case of it, that learning is not helpful for you because you will not use practically when you have to work on a project. So to work on a project, it is very, very important. You should know the use case of that particular concept, where I have to use one of the loop. Otherwise, you will be confused. I can use while loop as well. I can use for loop as well. I can use for each loop as well. So let's do use any. No, you cannot use any. There is a specific use case you have to use. Make sense to everyone? I already explained the for each loop we mainly use with collection. List type in the C sharp, array list in the C sharp. And when you will write the code for each loop, you will use commonly. So for each is a commonly used loop whenever you're working on a project where data is coming from the database and you having a list of collection, you have to repeat it. So make sure you are aware of why I'm using for each loop, why I'm not using here for loop. The reason behind it, I only need to read data. I don't need to do any update. Make sense to everyone? So now let's go to the implementation of each loop. I hope theory part is clear to everyone. All the loops, use cases you have noted down, isn't it? Yes or no? So today we will complete the lab through LMS here. So what happens here? Today I'm just going to show you the things, what are the codes access I'm going to give you. If you will join me all the 5 days. So we having a C# certification training program. That course access we will give you. So in the C# certification training, we having the labs. What are the labs we did on day 1, day 2, and today also the same lab are available. You can see. So today lab is about the loops here. So we have not completed so many labs. So this is a lab I have given to you from here itself. Similar to that one, we having other labs as well, which you have to complete. I will give the access of this course. You can complete others lab. So let's start with the loops section for the today one. Guys, one more thing here, whenever you are learning a programming language, so these are the fundamentals. So these fundamentals will work everywhere. Whether you are using C#, older version or new version. Okay, so it's not the things you having that one. So the thing is, now we will start with the loops. So when it is coming to the loops, in the loops, we start with a simple program to print the table of a number. So that I'm not doing today because we have already did it. Today I will start with the star pattern. So these are the patterns program we are going to build. So it's a right triangle star pattern. If you will see, there is a problem statement which you have to build. So the requirement is here, we have to make this pattern using the loop. Before that, let me give you the example of, let's say, while loop. The requirement for the while loop is here, let's say. On that day 1, we did a one program as well, where I have given the example of enter a 4-digit number and do the sum of each digit in that number. Today, I'm just rewriting the same problem statement. I will give you a number, and that number digit sum you have to provide to me. So just write the program. How you will write it? So today we will write it using the while loop things. Okay. Are we forgetting this course access? You have to stay with me till 5 days. Then I will give you the access. Okay. So people who are serious about learning the C# only get the access. I need only serious people here. So let's create a program in .NET CLI we already created. Now let me open it. The project we already opened. So let's say I'm just going to rename my program.cs file with while loop. This is my while loop.cs. Now here I'm creating a class that is while loop. You cannot create a class with the name of while because the thing is while is a keyword in the C#. Simple. Now let me start with public static void main method here. Then of course I will ask to enter a number from the end user end. So let me first write console.writeLine. Please enter a number. So user will enter the number. I will take the number as an input here. So it would be here convert to int 32. And what are the user will enter the value, I will read it here like this way. So now number we are getting. Now we are not fixing the digit of the number. Number can be with any digit here. Simply. Now the thing is, we have to calculate the sum of the digit. So now let me declare a variable sum equal to 0. And I will use here while loop. So I'm using here while loop. The reason behind it, because number of digits inside a number are not fixed. So that's why we are using the while loop here. And here I'm checking if number is not equal to 0. Till that, this loop should run. Or you can mention a number is greater than 0. Then it should run it. If it is 0, then don't run it. So we have to run this loop until num is greater than 0. So of course, we have to now fetch the last digit of a number. So take an example. Let's say I'm entering here a number 5321 this way. Now I need to get this last digit. So I will get here last digit. How we can get the last digit? By using the modulus. We can get the last digit here. So this modulus operator, modulus by 10, will give me the last digit 1. Now the last digit we already assigned here. Now we need to remove this last digit from this number. How we can do it? Num equal to num by 10. So this way we can remove the last digit. Now it will be only 5 to 3 this way. Finally, we have to do the sum. The sum equal to, it will be sum the old value plus last digit here. So it will keep adding the each digit whatever we are fetching from the number and keep doing the sum like this way. And we having this updation statement as well. So here I'm updating the number as well. So that if you're having the confusion, I can do one thing. Here last digit I'm having. And this is my updation statement. So at one point, the number value becomes 0 when you will keep dividing. So number value will become 0. This is for first iteration. If you will check the next iteration, in next iteration you will get 3. And here in next iteration, what we will get? We will get 1 plus 3. There is a next iteration. Then it will be here 5, 2. Then here you will get 2. And here what it will be? It will be 4 plus 2. And here it is 5. This is the next iteration I'm doing. It will again go back to the num greater than 0. Of course, num greater than 0. Then modulus 10. This time I will get 5. Here I will get 6 plus 5. And finally, in this last iteration, what will happen? It will become 0 simply. Now it is becoming the 0 here. And when it will become 0, this while loop will exit. When it will exit, we can show the message console.writeLine. And here I can mention the sum of digit. And here we will use always the latest syntax, that is template string use sum this way. The sum of digits is this. I'm showing the output simply now. So everyone got the logic, or do you have any query about it? I hope it is clear to everyone what the logic we have written. And guys, one more thing here. How many people write the program directly on computer? How you write the program? Can you tell me the approach of writing the program? How you write the program? You first write program on computer, you write program on register first, then you write here. Can you tell me your approach of writing the program? Okay, people are saying computer, direct on computer. Okay. So guys, here one more thing I want to highlight to everyone. If you're willing to become a good developer, you should not write the program first on computer. Let me tell you my story. When I started my journey in programming, in coding, that time also I'm having my laptop with me because I will, I was lucky from the college, they give us the laptop to each student. But I never write the code on computer, a laptop directly. I first write the program on register first, on notepad first. Because until you will not run the compiler from your mind itself, as I'm running here in front of you, you will not get the logic building skill. So what are the session today you are joining? It is very, very important session from the perspective of logic building. Because many people having a complaint. I'm not able to think logically. I'm not able to think the solution of a particular problem. The reason behind it, they have not practiced to write the code on register, on paper. Until you know practice the things on paper, your mind will not think the 5 step ahead, 6 step ahead. Because here, if you're taking looking at here, there are 4 iteration. I'm right. So these 4 iteration should run inside your mind first, not on computer. Because what I believe on computer, anyone can write the program. Even a fool can also write the program. If you want to become a good programmer, always start writing the logic from notepad. When you will have that confidence, when you have practiced a lot of program through dister, then you can start writing on computer. Then because that way of thinking you have cultivated in you. So the common mistake with new people is they are not able to train the mind. Until you will not train your mind thinking, you always face the challenges in logic building. This is the always right approach. So please don't do this mistake. If you want to be good developer, always write it on paper first, then go ahead with it. Imani Pratika, of course, writing the program on a paper is irritating because when you will do the mistake, you always remember. Do you know how the people learn? People always learn from their mistakes. If you will not do the mistake, you will not learn. Trust me. Challenges, doing the mistakes are the part of your learning. If you are not doing any mistake, if you're not facing any challenge, so when the challenge will come, you will not able to handle it. This is the reason. That's why you have seen the people who are very successful from their career from day one. They are not able to handle the unsuccess because when they failed, failure they are not able to handle because they have not faced failure any time in their career. So they are not able to digest. So failure should also be the part of your learning. If a person who is failed as well and who is doing learning to make it succeeded, that person having the more experience than a person who never failed in his her career or her life. So always do write on paper. Don't do this one. Clear to everyone? So now how many people follow this approach? Today take a plus, everyone. Are you ready to take the plus? So plus is here. I always write my program first on a paper and I will always compile it on a paper. When I will make sure my program is compiled and run successfully on a paper, then I will open my laptop and run it there. This is the pledge I'm taking today. And I'm sure this pledge will help you to become a better developer in your life. Sir, try. Don't use the word try. I will try, sir. I will try to do it. Try should not be in your dictionary. In your dictionary, you should have I have to do. I will do. No try. Because try always having a second option. Don't look for the second option. Use what is the right. If you are following to somebody else, follow it correctly. You have to do it. You don't have any other option. If you will think, I will try, your mind always look for the another option. Okay. So don't give the another option to your mind. I already told Sadaf the access the people will get on the last day, not in between. If you are serious, stay with me. Definitely, I will give everything which is needed to learn C#. And trust me, what are the people I find in my life who are good in the coding? This is the one secret everyone is having. They always started writing the code from paper. They always compile the things on paper. Then they sit once and they write it. Even same type of developers we having in the real life as well. You know, there are two types of developer. One developer is here, whatever the task is given to them on a project, they come on that computer and start writing the code. This is not a right approach to work on a live project. The right approach is first understand the requirement, figure out what I can use, what are the resources I'm having, what are the tables we having, whatever the function method we having, just analyze them. Because if you're analyzing, understanding the context, you actually writing a quality code. If you're not understanding the requirement, if you're not understanding the context, what will happen? You just writing the code. You are not thinking about the performance, you're not thinking about whether it is a right approach or good approach. You just a person who just doing the things, who don't know what he's doing, what is the impact of it. So such people will always remain developer. Such people cannot become the solution architect. Such people cannot become the CTO of a company. If you want to become a CTO of a company, solution architect of a company, you have to first think, then analyze it, then write it. Sashi Thakur is asking, speak English is compulsory for the job and interviews. Of course, Sashi, I'm not saying you should be fluent in the English. Let me tell you my story. I was not fluent in English when I started my job, but I can explain my introduction. I can give the simple question answer. At least your spoken should be average. That is fine. But you should know English always. Because if you are speaking the English, because you are not working only for Indian clients, you're working for the US UK client. So they having a primary language for communication is English. That's why English is important. Otherwise, you are working on a very small companies where you are dealing with the only Indian clients. And of course, you will not get much salary in that case. Make sense to everyone? Sada Ansari, if you are pursuing the course, ask from the counselor to get the access for the labs. I'm sure you having the access for the labs. If you don't have, ask from the counselor. Guys, I'm not changing the topic now. Come back to the topic. It is a while loop example. Now come to the for loop example. What are the question you having today? I will take on day 5. Don't worry. What are the things you having in your mind? On the day 5, I will take your question. So join on day 5. Day 5, I will take your all the question, whatever you having in the mind, and then I will answer. Now let's focus on the topic. The next loop, we having the do while loop. Do while loop here. Let us start with a class do while loop, then public static void main. So what we are going to do here, we are going to create here a calculator. As I promised in the morning, we will make a project for the calculator. Same thing I'm going to do here. We just going to create a calculator. One more thing here, let me test the project which I created. So it is my startup project. It is my startup object this way. In the startup object, I'm just mentioning the program is while loop here. This is the way I just mentioned my startup object. Now run the code. I'm running the code .NET run. Now enter a number. I'm entering a number here. It will give the sum of the number, sum of the digit. So 5 plus 6, 11, plus 1, 12, plus 2, 14, plus 3, 17. So perfectly I'm getting the things. Clear to everyone? So this is the way the sum we have done here using the while loop. This is a logic we have written here. And if you're looking for the answer of it, I will share through the code file. This is the code file. I share the logic there. Have we completed this one? How to do the sum of digit here? Now let me change it to do while loop program. And using the do while loop, we are going to create a calculator. Even we will include the another option as well. So requirement is here. What we are going to create? We are going to create a calculator interface like this way. So how the calculator interface will look like this way? It will look like this way. Let's say this is my simple calculator. I'm first designing the UI. Then you will have a option. First option, you will have one option. Let's say it is for addition. Second option, we having for subtraction. Third option, we are having for multiplication. Fourth option, we having for division. Now you will have an option, choose your option. So here user will choose the option 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say user is choosing the one, then it will ask for user. Please enter first number. So user will enter, let's say here 6. Then it will ask for the next input. Please enter second number. I'm explaining the flow, how the flow you have to make. Then the choice for first is addition. Am I right? So now it should show here the sum of number 6 and number 7 is, it is 30. So this should be the output when I'm going to run my calculator. Now after showing the output, should ask again action. Do you want to continue? Do you want to continue again? Then it will ask for yes or no here. So let's say you will enter yes. It again restart these things. Simple calculator. It will display the choices. Then you have to choose the option. Then again, what are the option you will select? Based upon that, it will ask for the input and show the output. If let's say you have mentioned no, it will just exit. So for Y, you have to repeat. So you have to repeat it. If it is no, if it is no, it will exit the program. So this is the simple calculator program you have to make using the C# here. Saurabh, here in this program, only I will not use do while loop. I will use switch as well. There is a combination of do while loop, switch. Because what are the cases we have? These cases we will handle using the switch case for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So guys, the problem statement is clear to everyone? Yes or no? Always remember one thing. Whenever you are going to make a program, first understand the problem statement properly and start thinking in your mind what things we can use inside this program. Can you tell me how we can make this program? What should I use here? Here. It is a repetition of the things. So whenever I'm starting the program, so at the starting of the program, first these options should be open. I'm right? Then next is going to decide the option. What are the option you're selecting? Even for deciding the option, what you have to use? You will use switch or you will use if else statement. Tell me. Which one is better here? If else statement, switch statement. So in such scenario, always use the switch statement because we don't have any such condition where I'm checking something. I'm having simple option. So there is option 1, 2, 3, 4. So whenever you having the option 1, 2, 3, 4, always use the switch. Don't use if else statement to make the program complicated. Make sense to everyone? Yes or no? So this is actually project you have to make. I'm giving this project as a assignment to you, everyone. So I'm sharing this assignment with everyone. This is the assignment, project assignment for everyone. You have to complete and show it on day 5. Just copy the thing from the chat window. I'm putting. This is your homework. I will check on day 5. This is a project 1 assignment I have given to you. Everyone, have you copied this? And let's see who will make the best calculator. You will get the surprise gift from my end if you will complete it as per the proper output. So let's move to the do while loop syntax. Ronak, it is fine if it is a simple program, very good things. You made such things. But think about the people who are learning the programming first time. For you, I can give the difficult program. If you need, I can share that also. So the people who are thinking it is a simple program, the next program they can make like this way. Enter a number and convert into words. Like if I'm entering a number 4, 5, 2, so it should give me the output as 45,000. 45,200. So this should be the output. Simple. So do this second problem as well. So enter a number and convert it into words. This is the second one. So you have to complete both of them. Okay. So come to the do while loop syntax. It is like this way. We having. So let's say I'm just going to simply showing a message. Let's say it is a game. Let's say I'm going to create console.write line. Please enter your name. And here I'm having a character. Char ch. If ch equal to, let's say, y, it will continue, otherwise it will not be. Okay, I have not wrapped the thing inside the public static. We just getting a simple game. Think about a game. We having a simple game. In that game, it is asking us to enter enter the number that we are comparing simply. So now here, let's say we are having ch equal to char. I'm converting the things into the char. It is console dot read here. So enter the name. Of course, you will enter the name. It will show us simply console dot write line your name is. First take the input. So I'm just taking the input string name equal to, it would be here console dot read line. And here you will show the welcome. Welcome. So actually I'm just going to greet. Welcome. Then what are the name user has entered display. I'm just putting here. Welcome Mohan. Now you just giving the option to play with it. So I'm just giving the option here console dot write line where we having do you want to continue here. So do you want to continue? That thing you are mentioning Y or N here. So your user will enter. And what are the character user will enter? It will again show the things to me. Something. It is about whatever the data I'm getting here. Reading. I'm converting into the character. And here I'm just using only one thing. So I'm using this one. If you're having the confusion, you can use this one. Convert to char. And instead of using the char. So we having the two things. One is implicit conversion. One is explicit. So this is explicit conversion because I'm using here a method convert to char. The previous one was implicit conversion because I was using only char type there. So there are two types of casting, implicit and explicit. So this is the program I'm just writing for it. Now let me run the things here. I will run it. That is .NET run. It is .NET run. Enter the name. Let's say Mohan. Welcome Mohan. Now it is asking, do you want to continue? Yes. Again. So do one thing, it should be read key. Better. And instead of using this one. Enter name. Yes. Okay. So this way you have to deal with it. Enter the name Mohan. No, it is coming out this way. And to clear the things, we having a one more things. Actually, what is happening here? Whenever I'm writing this one, read here. It should clear the console as well. Let's say console dot clear. It will clear the screen if you want to every time clear the screen. And whatever we having. So console dot so I'm just using the clear one so that we can clear the screen as we having the CLS screen in the C, C++, similarly we having here now. So now we'll get the things. Please enter the name. Let's say Mohan. Yes. Enter. Or here you can add again. Let's say Ram. So the thing is, it is not stopping here. It is reading the things because what are the character I have entered, it is taking now. This is not error. It is fine because they are we dealing with correctly. You need to just flash the screen. So actually in the screen label, there is a character available, that character need to flash. So just add this statement as well. I think it should work fine. I need to flash the screen. .NET run Mohan. Yes. Console.in. The things are clear. This is not the logic issue. Logically, it is perfect. Logically, it is perfect because the programming language, what happens here? We need to flash the console input because when we are dealing with this such character, it having the challenge. This is the issue with everywhere. It's not here. You can do one thing, just add a one simple statement, console.read key. This will help me, I think. So let's say Mohan. Yes. So this console.read key should be here. Order need to only decide. Otherwise, logic is fine. Yes. Now it is perfectly coming. And what the error we are getting, that you can fix like this way. Because what happens here, in this case, it might not entering anything. So in that case, the error for the read line we are getting, that I have fixed over here now. So it should not give any example over there simply. For no, it is working fine. I'm not saying for no, it is not working fine. If I'm writing here console dot write line, it is exit simply. Either you are doing this one, either you are doing this one, things are same. You don't need to convert it because by default, the data will come in the string format as well. So if you will add this or not, it does not matter. Okay. So it's not doing anything over there. So this line is not making any change to my logic because by default read line is a string read. So this is also fine. Without that also fine. So don't worry about it. I hope guys the things are clear to everyone how it is coming. Am I right? Better to mention a read line. If you want to mix this, I think this should not create the issue. What am I expecting? So it is working fine. Okay. So the things which was I was expecting, it was not working because of this read. If you will convert it into the read line, it will work fine. Okay. Because in case of read, what it was happening, it was coming only for one character it was reading, but here it will work fine. So now the expectation was after entering Y, it should repeat the things, clear the screen and come back again. So this read line will help us here. So simply now run the things .NET run, enter the name Mohan, yes, again asking for the name Ram, coming Ram, yes, again entering let's say Sohan, no, exit. So program is working fine now this way. Okay. System here is not required because in the latest version of C Sharp, automatically system namespace is there. We don't need to add it explicitly. In the older version of C Sharp, it was necessary to mention the system namespace. Here it is not mentioned. All the basic namespaces already added to the code. Okay. Editor is giving the warning because it is saying the possibilities here, user might enter the null. But string is not a null here. Now starting from the C# 10.0, it is non-nullable. If you want to remove the error, just mention this nullable like this way. So I can make it nullable to remove this error. Okay, now it is not giving any error simply. So if you want to run this one, I'm sharing the code through my code file where we added the calculator one as well. The answer for not using the Visual Studio I have given. Visual Studio is for those people who are trained in .NET, who know the things. The beginners one should use always VS Code. Because the VS Code will help you to become a better developer. Always reach ID you should not use initially. You should use the basic level of ID when you are in the learning phase. Simple. So now let's quickly complete the for loop. I hope while loop, do while loop program you have done, where you can see we are giving the first option. So whenever there is a things of choicing, you are giving the choice. This way we can handle with the do while loop. I'm right? Yes or no? These all the days code I will share. Don't worry. All days code I will share on the day 5. I will upload them on Google Drive and will share with them. Now let me add a one more file. The one more file is here for loop. I hope this one you have completed. Have you completed the do while loop code? Okay, now come to the for loop code. As I said here, the for loop we prefer when we know the exact number of iteration. So requirement is here. I need to make this design. So in this design, if you will see, we know there are 5 rows. I'm right. This is row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even if you will look at, we having the 5 columns also. So whenever you are building such patterns program, in the patterns program, usually we having the fixed number of star. So for loop we commonly use there in such cases. And you have to always think it's a row and it's a column. This way. So if you will see how many rows we having here, we having the row 1, it's row 2, 3, 4, 5. Similarly, we having the column 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So when we make such program, so in such program, what do we do for the rows, these rows? We present them using I usually here. And the column, what are the column we having? And column we always represent with J. So column we represent with J and rows we represent with I. I equal to 1 to 5, J equal to 1 to 5 here. If you having some more things, you can use K as well, you can use L as well, I, J, K, L, depending upon the design you are making here. Now the thing is, we have to understand many design having this symmetry. So symmetry, we have to take care of it. In the symmetry, first row is having 1 star, second row 2, third row 3, fourth row 4, fifth row 5. So it's a symmetry. As the number of rows are growing, the number of star also growing. Or ultimately I can say, in first row we having 1 column, in second row we having 2 column, in third row we having 3 column, in fourth row we having the 4 column, in fifth row we having the 5th column. So all the things are going to move with respect to rows and column. So here we have to think about the logic. So logic is a simple. When I equal to 1, the number of columns are equal to 1, J equal to 1. When I equal to 2, the number of columns are also 2 here. Am I right? So such logic we need to make. And how it will start? It will start always from 1. So when I will goes to here, I equal to 5. Then we having same number of column, J equal to 5. And here it always going from 1 to 5 here. 1 to 5. Simple. So this is the logic we have to keep in the mind. So number of rows are equal to number of columns. And of course, the number of columns we have to repeat. So these things I'm not repeating here. I'm going to these things I'm going to repeat going to the next line here this way. Next line I'm moving like this way. But for printing the value, we will print the value using the J. This column we are printing, always remember. So we are not printing the row, we are printing the things using the column. So it should be think about the column. Guys, whatever the logic I'm trying to explain, please understand it first. Don't share your logic. I know many people already made such program, but I'm trying to change the way of looking at the things. So don't be in hurry. Whatever I'm telling you, please try to understand how you should make the logic. Because this class is about the logic building. So whenever you having such pattern, always think the things like this way. It is just like you are doing some homework. You are doing the analysis of the program before writing it. Make sense to everyone? Bakar, I think you didn't join the day 1. That's why you're asking such question. I'm not repeating this question answer. So good to go ahead to write this program. I'm right. Logic is clear to everyone. How to deal with it? Yes or no? Or do you have any query? Okay. So come to the logic writing part. Come to for loop. So I'm writing here class for loop here. Public static void main. Now let us start with the program. So in the for loop, we can declare the variable at the loop level itself. I don't need to create before. Let's say I'm using here I equal to 0 to less than 5. So it automatically run to the 5 here. And now I can write a nested loop because one loop I'm running for the row. The second loop I will run for column. And column value will be j equal to 0 and j is smaller than equal to I. Because the number of rows and number of columns are same. Let's say I'm just using j equal to 0, j smaller than equal to y. Then only we having the things. Then console the things, console dot write. I'm just writing a star. So guys, here I'm not using here write line method. Because the write line always write the things from the new line. But we have to write from the same place where we are leaving it. It should not always move to the next line. So to move to the next line, after completing the loop for the column, I will add a statement console dot write line this way. It will move the things into the next row, or you can mention console write line is fine instead of putting the backslash and this way. So this is the logic I'm writing to deal with it now. So now come to the for loop. It is for loop here and check with it. So I'm just checking it here, that is .NET run. You can see it is giving me the star pattern perfectly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But let's say if you want to make this pattern dynamic, means based upon the input, it should work there now. So let's say right now it is a fixed 5, but let's say you should not make the things fixed. You should always make the things dynamic. Always ask from the user to make the star pattern. Please enter a number for a star pattern. So user will enter the number. Based upon that, we will decide till how many label we need to repeat it. So it is here convert dot to end 32. Then I'm using here console dot read line this way. Now in place of doing the hard code 5, I'm replacing it with num. So whatever the digit you will enter, till that it will do the things for us. So now let me run it. Here again the same program. This time it will ask enter a number for star pattern. This time I'm entering 10. So it will make the star pattern for the 10. Can you see here? It is not only for 5. It is for 10 this way. So always take the input from the end user. It should not be limited to a fixed number like this way. I hope now you having the clarity where to use for loop, while loop, do while loop. Am I right? Yes or no? So based upon the same thing, we having the many problem statement. If you're looking for the problem statement, I can share with you. So these are the various problem statement we having on the C sharp. So the C sharp we having the labs. All the labs you can access from here. I'm sharing the link for the problem statement for C sharp lab. So here we having the 50 labs. Even we will add more here. So just refer all the labs. Problem statement. So just look for the labs problem statement from here. How to do it. Now we left with the last loop. Let's complete that last loop as well quickly. That is for each loop dot cs. Now let me complete this last loop as well. As I said here, the last loop is helpful. Sorry, the for each loop is helpful whenever you are reading the data from a collection. So let's say I'm having a collection. Collection can be the array. The collection can be the list simply. Yeah. So here the lab solution you cannot see. Only the problem statement you can see over there. Of course, the labs are the premium one. Look at the problem statement right now. As I said, on the day 5, I will give you the complete course access, so don't worry about it. Right now, you have to focus on the problem statement. So let's say we having a array integer, we having a numbers array this way. So I'm using here new int. It's a number array 1, 2, 4, 5. Or let's say it can be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. This I'm keeping. Now I can use for each loop here, where I'm looking for numbers reading. I'm just reading the value console.read line and item. But this item need to convert into the string. Better to mention here a double quotes item and this way. It's not read line, it should be the right line here. Okay. So using the right line, we can print the things. So there you have to use the for each loop here. So when it is coming to the array in the C#, the array in the C# having the syntax data type, then which array you're going to create, single dimensional or two dimensional, single dimensional array. Then we always use new keyword to initialize it. So I'm using new keyword and the int array for initializing it. Now here mention the value here to initialize them. Let's say one dimensional array. I'm going to create it. It is with for each loop. It is a for each loop. So make sure whenever you're running it with the for each loop there simply and run the code now to see it in action. So it would be here .NET run. It is a for each loop. So file name is not, class name was not correct. I have corrected it here. This way. So you can see I'm getting the data here. Simply 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. But I cannot change this item value here. Or you can say, I cannot change the numbers array value. Numbers array value I cannot change. Whatever we having there. Only we can read the value. But sometime it happens, you might need to change the value whenever you're reading. The example here, let's say, I'm using for, where I'm looking for, let's say, numbers dot length. And whenever I'm reading the value, let's say numbers value I'm reading using the I, and actually I want to update it. So let's say I can update like this way. I'm adding 1 with each value. And after that, if I will run this numbers, so value will be changed here. So do one thing. First, I just run a for loop to update the value, then I'm reading it. So value will be changed in this case. Because in the for loop, we cannot read the value as well as we can change the value. So for showing the value, it will be like this simply. So if you will run it, you will see like this way. So it is changing the value now here. I hope that things are clear to everyone. Yes or no? So loops part I have done from my side today. It is more than 1.5 hours. Already the people, many people love the things because they cannot sit more than 1.5 hours. Now wrapping the session for today. If you have any query, any doubt, please do ask. And whatever the assignment I have given to you, you have to submit on the day 5. The people who will submit the assignment day 5, they will show the things. Tomorrow also we having the session on class and object. There also we will build a project again. Okay. And what are the project assignment I'm giving to you? You have to submit. And I want to see who is making the better one. If you can add the things from your end, please add the things from your end as well and do the things. Blank array also you can make. Here it's not the case. You cannot make the blank array. You can make. If you're looking for the output is simple here, like this way. .NET run, and it is coming the output like this way: 11, 21, 31, 41, 51, then 11, 21, 21, this way. So this way we are doing the things. Sanjay Kumar, the for each loop is only helping us to read the value. It is not giving the index access in this array. How can update the array value? You can update the array value by accessing, by changing the things and the index number. And here I cannot change the index. That's why value updation is not possible. And the previous one I'm having the index access. So I can change the value, simple. For the for loop, the output will be a star pattern, exactly similar to this one. So whatever we having here, the output will be like this way for the for loop here. Yeah, you cannot get the index in the for each loop. It is not possible. For the assignment question, I have already added to the Google Doc. If you will see, it's already there. Even the same assignment I will share on WhatsApp as well. So better to share on WhatsApp group. There you can access. Okay. I share the assignment on the WhatsApp group. Just see. Some people are joining today. So they are not aware of the WhatsApp group. I share the link in the chat window. From there, you can join the WhatsApp group. I hope guys you get to know how to use the loop and what are the use cases for it. There is no attendance link. We already taken your attendance. Don't worry about it. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will talk about the object-oriented programming. Because wherever you will go, of course, you have to write the code in the object-oriented programming. So object-oriented programming is very important when it is coming to the learning. So see you tomorrow for learning the object-oriented programming. There is no attendance. Okay.